Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning. Oh my God, a lot of stuff happened here on the charts. So how have you guys been? How's everyone? Do you guys like the music? Do you enjoy the music? Oh, I think we have someone new in the stream. Trade Studio. I haven't seen you so far, or am I mistaken? And you're not for the first time here. Hello, ciao everyone. Hi, good morning, good morning. Okay, so I haven't opened the chart the whole day. The whole day I haven't. And so I will be starting by marking first. I will be starting by removing all the stuff from the chart that I no longer really consider relevant. They might still, like, some of the stuff that I'm removing from here might still be relevant, but, you know, I'm sure that if there is going to be an area that might still be relevant for today, in the meantime, price did form like other PD arrays around the same areas that we're going to be able to use like as fresh PD arrays. Because you guys know that I don't really like to use like too old PD arrays that were already tapped, visited, whatever. So I'm just going to remove all the drawings from yesterday's live stream. Oh my God, so you've been silently stalking my Telegram for ages. Trade Studio, this is what you're saying. Well, what can I say? Thank you. Thank you. I like it when you guys stalk my content. It's good. You can keep stalking it. And I think it's even better when you also learn something from it and apply it. And yeah. If you have a scroll wheel on your mouse, you can click that to remove the lines drawings with one click. Oh my God, really? Like the middle click? No way. Oh my God, it actually worked. Thank you. I had no idea. Wow, this is really cool. Really cool. Okay, you guys, like if you have any other stuff, like tips and tricks on how to use TradingView in an efficient way. Oh my God, this is so much better. Wow. Yeah, like tips and tricks on how to use different stuff from TradingView. Yeah, you can send them over. Okay, so let's see what is going on in here. Oh my God, just look at this, you guys. Look at this. Look at this. This thing, it's screaming that at least a pullback should happen. I'm checking for SMT divergences to see exactly if there are any. All right. And there are a lot frankly. Quite a lot. So I'm just marking the SMTs, the newly formed SMTs, just to make sure that I know where liquidity areas are. Not just major liquidity areas, but also minor liquidity areas that we would only be able to see on the lower time frames, because you've seen, like, it's not the first time when during the streams we see price taking buy side or sell side from an area that many of you might not necessarily have considered relevant, right? But that actually are relevant. Why? Simply because they're SMT areas, okay? Minor SMTs that occur during the day, during the sessions, and which that's the way in which price is actually creating liquidity during sessions, all right? So we should pay attention to that. All right, so major like liquidity areas that I see right now. Here, also this BISI, this high, and now let's drop down to lower time frame. So that was on the 1 hour, okay? Now I want to check the 5 minutes and see exactly what happened in the meantime, because one of the downsides of not trading the London session, to me personally, what I've noticed is the fact that I feel like I have more job to do, like whenever I'm opening the chart, you know. Okay, we might have missed an entry. Let me just look at this really fast and we'll see if we missed the entry or not for this possible short trade. All right. Oh my God. Okay. Not the best entry. I haven't entered yet, okay? Haven't yet entered yet. Like, if we could get a little pullback so that I could actually get an entry at a slightly higher price, because this candle 905 was the actual entry candle. So I haven't entered yet, okay? I haven't entered yet. I'm just looking at why would price want to go down? Is there any reason for which it might actually want to go down? So we have this bullish S&P as well. This is the 1 hour BISI. And we have the low of the London session, which is untapped liquidity. Yeah, I think the train left without us, you guys. I think the train left without us. I think it did. But if I would have taken any trade, this is definitely how I would have taken it. A bit bummed I haven't taken any yet, but it is what it is. Anyway. So if price is going to go under this low, it's going to reach a 1 hour fair value gap. All right, now. Okay, definitely the low of the London session. There is definitely sell side there. Oh my God, this. And here. Okay. Yeah, this was really a nice long trade that happened here right when the London session just ended. I still haven't done that thing which I kept saying that I'm gonna do, which is to bring the chat here on the screen so I can actually monitor everything. Yeah, Thomas, we did have a 5-minute entry. Yeah. Will you be teaching your kids how to trade? I don't think I'll have kids. I don't think I will. Honestly. All right. I don't trust this rejection from the 1 hour BISI over here. I just don't. Maybe I'm wrong, but whatever. The thing is that, like I said, I'm not in a trade, okay? I'm not in a trade yet. This looks like a bullish breaker, doesn't it? You might be wondering why I don't really trust the rejection from the 1 hour CB, from the 1 hour BISI. I don't know. It looks off. Look at silver here, taking buy side above here. You see, starting to form bearish SMT divergences on the smaller time frames as a sign of potentially looking to continue to push lower. You know, but we'll see. You guys saw yesterday that patience is never failing, right? Patience will never fail you. So if you pay your due, paying your due, in my opinion, means waiting. That's the price that we have to wait in order to get good setups. The wait. Yeah, definitely the wait. 61 people watching, 66 people watching. Nice. And only 25 stream likes. Maybe we can bring that like count a little higher. I think I deserve more, don't I? Don't I deserve more likes? Huh? Don't I? Come on. Oh, yeah. I definitely do. All right, guys. Someone's asking, Ali Hassan, how do we trade SMT? When to engage in a trade? I'm just going to explain it again, even though I've explained it with every of my live streams, but It's fine, I can do it again. Just so you know, guys, I'm not in this trade, okay? I'm not in this trade yet. I'm not, right? And even though we do see this pullback, where I said a little earlier, if we could actually just get a minor pullback so that I could enter at a slightly bigger price, because the entry candle, which was supposed to be 905, had already closed, and then the 910 candle was already dropping lower, and I didn't enter. And I know I said that if I'm going to see like a pullback a little higher, then I'm going to enter where, okay, now I'm entering. All right, now I've entered after tapping 12 midnight. Entry price is 3035.13. My entry price 35 point. My fill was not that good. 35.13. Come on. Anyway, sort of like this. Okay, so now I did enter. Okay, so the stop loss in this case. Stop loss. Well, judging by the fact that this whole thing here is the order block, it would only be normal for me to put the stop loss slightly above the midpoint. And since we also have the bearish FVG that we entered based off of, I'm just going to put it right above the FVG candle, right there. All right. Once we reach 1R, I'm going to consider moving stops at break even, or maybe taking some partial. It really depends on what reaction I see once price reaches into the, what's that word? Consequent encroachment of the 1 hour bullish fair value gap. I love the way silver is inverting this BC. I would love to see it continuing to do that, obviously. That would be a win. And I'm going to check this out. All right, not such a big thing. All right, you guys, so we had the SMT, all right, 2 SMTs actually, one on the 5-minute, this one, followed by, you know what, I think I want to change the color of my drawing. What color should I use? I don't want a red or anything like that. I think I'm going to use something blue. Okay, this one. So we had this SMT, all right? And then gold created a bearish fair value gap. So it's basically letting us know, and if you look at it for a bit, you're gonna see that, oh, the middle click, I can use that to remove. All right. Wait, I'm trying to find my words, okay? And just focus on what I'm doing here at the same time. It's not that easy. Okay, so SMT divergence, okay? And followed by bearish fair value gap. Rebalance of the fair value gap, and then rejection moving lower. Besides this, I want you to take a look at this consolidation area, the bodies of the candles, all right? Actually not like that, but more so like this area over here. And then price broke downside, and then it broke upside, and then it broke downside again after having taken buy side above that minor consolidation. sweep the low, sweep the high, and then break lower with fair value gap in SMT. It would be really a bummer if price wouldn't respect this setup and move lower. Really would be a bummer, because it's actually a great setup. Honestly, it really is a great setup. I never knew you go live on here. I've been out of the loop. LOL. Oh, well, don't worry, LS. You didn't miss a lot of stuff going on, because it's only been a week since I started going live. A week or so, something like that. All right, so one thing I would like to see is these two pairs continuing to be correlated, in the idea that, for example, I don't want to see silver sweeping this low over here, this one, and then gold wouldn't. All right, because if it's gonna do that, it's not good. Okay, it's not a good thing. Definitely not a good thing to happen. And I'll also pay attention to this blueberry fair value gap, because it's a conversion fair value gap. And price did show previously, signs of rejection, support, demand zone, whatever you want to call it. Anyway. So, like I was saying, one thing I don't want to see is these two pairs getting out of sync. Okay? I really don't want to see them getting out of sync. They should remain synchronized, and if one's gonna take out a low, then the other one should also do the same. I would really love it if it could do that, and if they would remain correlated like so. I wouldn't be happy for that happening, only because it would mean that price would go down and it would give us a substantial profit. But it would also sustain and support the idea of price looking for sell side, okay? Because if one goes down, takes out a low, and the other one is not going lower as well, it means that the one that's going lower, especially if that's going to be the case of silver, which we're basically using as an indicator, right? It means that it's showing that the market is in an oversold condition, meaning it's cheap, and I don't want that. It shouldn't show that it's cheap, okay? So yeah. How do I move the plus button? This button here. Okay. All right. So I don't have a coffee with me. Should have made myself a coffee. But I didn't. I have a glass of water. "47 seconds until the current 15-minute candle is going to close." And what I like about it is that it created this bearish fair value gap here on the 15 minutes as well. So remember what I was saying yesterday is that, for example, if you're going to see price creating, like all the time, the pullbacks or the reversals are going to start from the lower time frames first, right? And the smallest one that it's just going to start, or the smallest time frame where we're going to see that visible, it's going to be the 1 minute mainly, okay? Because not too many of us are trading 15 seconds or 30 seconds or something like that. So on the 1 minute, we usually start to see the intention to want to start a pullback or start a reversal, right? So in this case, then if that, let's say that type of setup occurs on the 1 minute, and then the more time passes, the same type of setup starts to form on the 5 minutes, right? Then we're having some sort of a confirmation that price action is supporting the idea that it began, or the movement that it began on the 1 minute. It's starting to support it going into the 5 minute as well. Then as that is being respected, let's just take for example the formation of a bearish fair value gap on the 1 minute. The 1 minute forms a bearish fair value gap, price rebalances it and then rejects, goes lower, right? As price goes lower on the 1 minute, new M5 candles are going to form, and let's say that a 5 minute bearish fair value gap is going to form, right? So now in the 5 minute we're going to see that being rebalanced, and then price is going to reject off of it and it's going to go lower on the 5 minutes. As price goes lower on the 5 minutes, all right, after respecting that bearish fair value gap, then on the 15 minutes it's going to start to gradually form new candles and the formation perhaps of a new bearish fair value gap on the 15 minutes, all right? So if that happens, then like this pretty much supports the idea of price actually looking or having an intention to respect the order flow that it began on the 1 minute, or the movement direction that it began on the 1 minute, all right? And in doing that, it just really supports the idea of you, or myself in this case, staying in the trade, all right? Which is very important for me. Like, you guys probably have noticed that usually when I'm in a trade, oh wow, this goes really nice. Okay, it's going to be really, really interesting to see what it's going to do once it reaches. Okay, that's what I want to see. Okay, you guys see when it reached the midpoint of the 1 hour BISI, have you guys seen how it sort of like seemed as it's stopping and then boom? All right, that's what you want to see. You want to see a willingness of like violating the low. Oh my God. Let me just take some profit because this is going out pretty nice. You want to see a willingness of wanting to pierce through that possible support level as fast as possible, okay? Or as aggressive as possible, all right? It's really important to see that. All right, made 1% on this trade on my funded. It's good. And I have another half of my position opened. So I've only closed half of my trade right now. I would really, really love, I think I'm going to bring my stop loss a little lower. I don't see any reason for which price would want to come back above this order block, this one, the 9 a.m. candle on the 5 minutes, because you see that candle formed, you know, went up, rebalanced the fair value gap, and then it was broken lower, all right? And then we had a retest of that with the candle, this candle that I entered, the 920. Okay, just look at that. Wow, 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 wow. Woo! If you guys took this, just make sure to put your W's. Holy crap. I'm still in the trade with the other half, like still in it, but I'm gonna close really soon. I'm gonna close really soon. Maybe we could take it till here. Come on. Yeah. Also, I'm paying attention to where silver is reaching into right here, okay? You really want to pay attention to what silver is doing as well. How much did we get so far? 1 to 5R, almost. Almost. Such a good thing. Such a good trade, you guys. Really, really good. Really good trade. Okay, so I've left, I think 15% runner at 0.40. runner. And I'm just going to secure that at break even. So my stop loss is going to be 30, 35, 30, 35. All right. All right. Woohoo! We're moving. Good stuff. Good stuff, you guys. Really good stuff. It would be interesting right now to see price, like that would add on the idea that price is actually really looking to continue to move lower beyond where it's at right now and beyond this VC that I drew here and whatever. It would be nice right now to see it, you know, sort of like retesting the 1 hour CB and then continuing to push lower. That would add on the idea that we might actually see it wanting to continue to move lower. Because just look at all the sell side liquidity that accumulated at the lows yesterday, especially. Like, that's huge. All right. And I want you to take a look at all this area, all this trend line liquidity, you see, which coincides with this price action. You see this trend line liquidity on silver. Just look at how decisive this drop on silver was. That's clearly not a sweep of liquidity. It's clearly a run on liquidity. So I'm thinking that gold, oh my God, this is moving just beautifully. All right, I'm still in a trade. I still have a 0.40 runner. And I've secured that at break even, so I can just go ahead and show as if it's secured at break even. All right, now, really, really interesting what silver is going to do here. You see? Because it reached at that low that was created right after the London kill zone ended. And if it's just going to show a really like good willingness of going lower aggressively, all right, then it's really going to be a good indication that most likely gold should also follow. This is such a good trade, you guys. So 30.35, and we've got to 30.28 so far. That's, I think, 70 pips, 70 points, right? So far, not bad. I think, think about it. Yesterday, I was in the stream for 3.5 hours. And to be honest with you, I barely managed to squeeze some money. I mean, it was okay. I ended up the day in profit, but I felt like I really had to work for my money yesterday. And today, it's completely different. Completely different. And to be honest with you, I was not expecting to get this type of like aggressive move today, considering that in about 4.5 hours, I think we're gonna have FOMC economic projections, whatever, something like that. So yeah, but it's nice. It looks good. So we might actually just end the stream a little earlier today. Who knows? I'll see. Because, you know, I could use a break. I could use some time, some me time. Why not? Yeah, this was awesome. Awesome trade, you guys. So initially, so the entry, just to re-explain once again. Yeah, where's the cha-ching? The cha-ching sound, exactly. Yeah, I said that I'm gonna bring that in, and I haven't. I'm gonna bring that in. Don't you guys worry. I'm just gonna explain one more time the reason for taking the trade, right? So we had seen gold going higher here, creating a higher high, and after that, Really important also in here to note the fact that it had this consolidation, this accumulation here, okay? And exactly what I was mentioning at the beginning of the stream, where it's important to mark the higher time frame liquidity areas, but it's also extremely important to mark the lower time frame minor liquidity areas, because those are going to be the areas where you're actually going to be able to have intraday entries, okay? Entries from an intraday perspective on the lower time frames, 1 minute, 5 minute. Because just think that the market is usually going to build its own set of liquidity during every kill zone, okay? So it's doing that by creating these SMT divergences. And then seeing how price is going to react after taking the liquidity at one of these SMTs. It's really important because it can really give you a good indication of what is likely for price to be looking to do. All right, so initially, so we've seen that SMT, the bearish fair value gap that followed. I had barely just opened the stream, started the stream when you know, this entry occurred. So then we've seen price going up into the SIBI and then rejecting with the 905 candle. So technically speaking, or normally, that's where I would have had my entry once the 905 candle closed, but I just didn't see that because I was just marking up some 1 hour liquidity areas. And then when I saw it and I was marking it down to make sure exactly that we might actually be looking at a setup forming and even being confirmed, then the 910 candle started to drop. And then I said, well, it's too late for me to enter because I'm just going to have a huge stop loss. And if it's going to retrace a little higher, then so be it. It's going to be okay. I'm going to try to take an entry. And then it reached at this 1 hour BISI with this 915 candle. And even though I said that I'm going to enter once it retraces a little closer to the original entry level at the close of 905 candle, I didn't do that during 915 candle because it was just rejecting from the 1 hour BISI. But then the 920 candle, just look at how it went slightly, just like how I like to say, kissed the 12 midnight opening price, and then it started to turn into a bearish candle. So that's when I decided to execute on the trade. Okay, this was a good one, you guys. Okay, do you guys have any questions? This was a really fast one, a really quick one. Very quick setup this time. Also adding to my confidence of price likely seeking sell side or looking to go lower. Not necessarily seeking sell side, but at least, you know, at least going a little lower than it had already at the time of my entry, or at the time when we had the entry, the initial entry. Was the fact that here on silver, you see how it entered inside this 615 BISI silver, this one. Look at how it rejected off of there with the 9 a.m. candle and then the 905 candle forming this bullish fair value gap. So, but seeing, so that would have been an indication, well, okay, I don't think it's going to go any further downside because otherwise it would not have rejected from a BISI with another BISI, all right? What we were talking about yesterday, inception fair value gap in my head, that's how I call it, right? So it wouldn't have rejected from this BISI, the 615 BISI, with creating another BISI. But then seeing that it's actually looking to invert it with the 910 candle, it just really it just really looked like it wanted to go lower, okay? Because you don't invalidate an inception fair value gap unless you're really, you as in price. Price doesn't invalidate inception fair value gaps unless it's really like more like more than 80% chance to actually wanting to go the opposite direction. So it's exactly what it did. Wow, I love this thing of clicking on the wheel mouse and making the drawings disappear, removing the drawings from TradingView. Someone's asking, is it going to take a London low? Who knows? Maybe it will. I'm thinking it will, or it has a great chance of doing that, especially if we're going to see silver just continuing to move lower. Because if silver is going to move lower, continue to move lower, it means that the low that it took here, it's not enough of a sell side. So I'm thinking that if silver might want to go to lower areas of liquidity, and the next one, it's going to be around here at, we're on the 1 hour here. Next one is going to be Monday's low. All right, next liquidity area is Monday's low. Now you just look at the difference, like how far away gold is from London low, which is right here. All right, just look at how far away this is, and look at how close to that level silver is. Okay, really far away. Wow. It's really interesting how price action played this area here. That busy, that price rejected off of, and then it went higher, creating the top of the SMT on silver. Yeah. And look at how it played, you know. It's really cool stuff to see this. Okay. There's this busy here that looks interesting. Not for today, obviously, but at a later stage. Yeah. Flip zone. To me, flip zone is where price seemed to create a high, a top, and then it actually just breaks through it. It's just a broken resistance turned into support. Alex, does the time change on the gold template? It used to be 2 hours behind IC market, now it's 3. Well, it's going to move back to the number of hours that you know to be the actual difference. It's going to move back this weekend when Europe is going to switch to daylight savings time as well, because for now Europe did not switch to daylight savings time, but the US did. All right, so that's why. But it's going to come back to normal, the number of hours time zone difference that you guys are usually used to. It's going to come back to normal after this weekend. All right, I'm seriously thinking of ending the stream right now because honestly, I don't see any reason for which I would stay in the stream, you guys. Unless you have questions, and then I can actually help some of you. 74 people in the live stream right now, or is it more? Are you guys more than 74? Let me check. Ooh. $71 people, including myself. It would really be awesome if you would like the stream, you guys. Of course, if you consider it valuable, and if you consider that you're actually learning something from it, I would really appreciate if you would like the stream. Exactly like I said a little earlier, it would be awesome if it would retest the invalidated or the inverted H1 BISI and then push lower, break lower. The fact that it tapped on the 1 hour BISI after it invalidated it or inverted it does not guarantee the fact that it's going to go down right now. All right? Does not guarantee that. You might still see it. Like, remember what happened during the last 2 days, Monday and Tuesday. Today's Wednesday, right? It's not. Yeah, Wednesday. Where it started to consolidate range, and then boom, created a BISI, and then tapped it, and then went higher. It's not excluded that we're going to see the same thing today, okay? So just because price is tapping this H1 inverted BISI right now doesn't mean that you should jump into short orders. You really shouldn't. 69 are watching, but only 23 liked. Come on, people. No, I think you have to, Greg, I think you need to refresh, because we actually have 66 likes so far. Thank you, guys. Also, guys, don't forget that if you have people that are struggling with trading or are looking to understand different concepts that are maybe in their head are complicated, but maybe somehow I did find a way to, you know, simplify them or make them a little more accessible to everyone's understanding. Yeah, you can share this. You can share the link of my live streams with those people that you guys know. Someone's asking, you're a little bit indiscreet, aren't you? Double A. Do you have a boyfriend? LOL. Of course I do. Of course I do. A pretty girl like me is never alone. Don't you guys know that? No, I'm just joking. But yeah, of course I do have a boyfriend. I remember during my first live stream, someone asked me, actually it was not a question, but it was more like a statement of that person. So this person goes on in the chat and says, how does it, like, it was a question, but he was actually, you know, at the same time stating the fact that he's sure that I'm not with someone, you know, that I don't have a boyfriend or anything. And this person says, how does it feel to be alone? Because you girls, you women who trade are so financially independent and you don't need any men, because then your, how did he say? Your standards are too high when you become financially independent. I was like, what? Our standards are high no matter if you're financially independent or not. That's how a woman should be. And to be honest with you, not just women, but men should have high standards when it comes to the people you surround yourself with, the person you decide to spend most of your time with, like friends, colleagues, and especially boyfriend, girlfriend, spouse, you know, any person that you're in a romantic relationship with. That's very important. It's really important that that's a person that it's looking for growth. Maybe it's not a person who really understands concepts like you do, but it should definitely be a person that is intending to grow, that it's seeking growth at any level, okay? And that's not having a high standard, honestly. Yeah. Greg said, this was so educational. Thank you, Alex. Thank you for being here, Greg, and thank you all for being here, you guys. Question: did you ever shout out the South African guy who made you do trading? Yes, I have, but not here in the streams, but with many occasions when I was asked during different podcasts where I've been invited. I said, the guy's name is Naldo, Naldo, and he used to go on Telegram by the name BTMM Stalker, something like that. I don't know how or what his Telegram channel is named anymore, because I just unsubscribed from every Forex related Telegram channel, and I unsubscribed from those. Any Forex related Telegram channel that would usually give signals, like trade signals, on gold, obviously. But yeah, because I just don't want to be distracted. But to anyone who's interested, that's the name of the guy, Naldo. Do you ever trade ICT Silver Bullet? I used to. Sometimes I do, but I'm not necessarily looking for that actively. Like, main thing that I'm trading is just this M5 SMT model that I'm trading during the live streams, and that's about it. Yeah, so, okay, let's see here. Where did I get out? So my entry was 3035.13, and I got out at, my first exit was 3030.23. All right, so let's just make that reflecting here. 3030.23. Wow, I got out really, really early, didn't I? 0.23. And then I had taken another partial, like the majority of the partial, 3028.71. 28.71, something like this. All right, so that's the trade, and right now it's just running at break even. And if it's just going to take me out, then it is what it is. See exactly what I was saying. The fact that it just tapped on the 1 hour BC, it doesn't mean that it should reject from it. Okay? Doesn't mean that. Not all girls have the leverage to have high standards. I don't think you need to have a leverage to have high standards. Your leverage is the fact that you're a human being and that you have dignity. That's the only leverage that every person on this planet should not forget that they have. It's the only leverage that actually matters. Okay? Guys, seriously. In order for you as a human being to have high standards in regards to the people that you get into relationships with, you really don't have to be the type of person who's making a lot of money, materialistic stuff, or be very pretty or very beautiful or stuff like that, really good looking. Those are not real leverages that would give you the right to have high standards. Don't think like that. The simple fact that you are a human being and that you have the right to dignity is the most important leverage that everyone has. It's a choice to use that leverage in a fruitful way for you, or to decide not to use that leverage in a fruitful way for you. Okay? But it doesn't mean that you don't have that kind of leverage. in my opinion, if everyone would have high standards, regardless of their social condition, regardless of the way they look like, if everyone would have high standards, I can assure you that little by little, every person would become a high standard person. Okay? If everyone would have high standards, everyone would become a high standard person. And just imagine how beautiful this world would be like that. Just really. Okay. What about the fair value gap guide that you were compiling, waiting for it? Oh my God, people are still waiting for that. I never actually get to finish it because there are so many things to actually identifying that fair value gap that is likely to support price or to resist price. And I honestly don't think that I would be able to compile that into a PDF without making it like, I have a tendency to want to simplify things. And if I find a way to simplify things or complex ideas, if I manage to simplify those, is usually because I will willingly give up on certain traits of explaining that concept just to make it simple for me to understand. So yeah, I don't know, you guys. Yeah, I could make a video about the fair value gap then. Yeah, I could probably, or I could even compile a video about, you know, ideal fair value gaps from all these live streams that I made. Because with every new live stream, I've given so much value, I think. It's not, I'm not saying this to brag about it, or I'm not saying this, you know, to make you guys feel that you owe me something. No, I do it because I really enjoy doing it. And because besides the fact that I enjoy doing it, I also enjoy the fact that I also learn as I explain things. Because many times it happened to me that I actually just find myself talking about things that I just understood by talking about those concepts with you as if I already knew them. Honestly, like it's crazy. Thumbs up to viewer ratio is unheard of. Viewer ratio, you think? 70 viewers, 68 viewers? Not really sure what to say. Not that much. But yeah, if you say so, thanks. Yeah. Okay, so what do you guys think? Is this thing going to continue to go lower? What do you guys think? You can put a S from sell in the chat if you believe that this is going to eventually go lower. Or you can put a B in the chat, as in buy, if you think that eventually this thing is just going to find support in this 5-minute BISI and then it's just going to shoot higher. Thomas is the first one to say S. Who else? Come on, guys, who else? Who else thinks that gold is likely to move lower? Who else? Nobody? As in really nobody? 30 seconds until the current 5-minute candle is going to close. And if it's going to close like this, as in invalidating the BISI on a 950 candle, it's going to probably continue to move lower. We'll see. Old MacDonald had a farm. E-I-E-I-O. What I meant was you have more thumbs up than viewers. Amazing on the likes ratio. Ah, okay. Yeah, that's actually cool. Would love to see a 5-minute time frame liquidity sweep before moving lower. Well, just think about where would that liquidity sweep occur, because the only levels where we have liquidity right now are these two. This high at 905 and this high, which is the high of New York, which is 845. So I would honestly not want price to take any of that liquidity. At this point, the only reason why I want to see price going higher is just to make a pullback to rebalance a bearish fair value gap that it left behind prior to moving lower, like we had here. Moving lower, left that SIBI behind, moves into it, goes lower. Moves lower, leaves this SIBI behind, goes up, rebalances, and then breaks lower. As it's going to break lower, it's going to leave another SIBI behind, go up, rebalance, go lower. The only reason, if we want to see it continue to push lower, the only reason for which it should go up would be only to rebalance bearish fair value gaps, not to take buy side, because you don't know how that buy side is going to be used. It can be used to pair it with smart money short orders, which would be okay, but then you'd have to wait for more confirmations, or it could actually use it as fuel to take price higher. Okay, to use it as, you know, like you would use petrol in your car, you know, to make it move. $9.25 time frame high. Yeah, but you know, 920 you said. Why would that be a buy side area? Like if it would take out that, okay, it would basically like if it would take out this high, which is the 920 5-minute high, it would basically invalidate this bearish order block over here, which we don't want it to do that, okay? Because for now, it's respecting the following order flow. It's breaking lower, creating fair value gap, goes up to rebalance the fair value gap, creates a bearish order block, and then moves lower, creating a new fair value gap. And then as it goes into that fair value gap to rebalances, it also taps that order block that it left behind, and then it moves lower, okay? This is the way in which it's creating the current order flow right now. All right, so what did it do? It broke lower, created the fair value gap, went up, created this as an order block, broke lower, touched the order block, went lower, created a new order block, this candle, okay, 915, breaks lower, and now comes up to rebalance this SIBI and also to touch on the order block. All right. So if it would go up here to the 920 5-minute high, it would basically just invalidate the core things, one of the core things that makes this bearish order flow currently, which is the 915 bearish order block. All right, because it would go above it. It wouldn't respect the midpoint of that order block, which it perfectly did in here. Okay. So we don't want to see it go there, because if it does that, it starts to invalidate the blocks, the building blocks of the current, oh my God, look at this go. The building blocks of the current bearish order flow. And we don't want it to do that. I hope it makes sense, you guys. So someone sent me something on WhatsApp about this 4-hour busy. Someone, my boyfriend, did that as a draw on liquidity. Okay, so we're gonna mark this right here. Draw on liquidity, not like this. Okay, let's see, like that. That's really doable. Oh my god, what did I do? All right. Where did silver reach into? Nothing here in the 4 hour, 1 hour, nothing really. 30 minutes, nothing really. 15 minutes, nothing really. Yeah, not really. Oh my god, what happened? No. Daily, what is the daily chart telling us? Yeah. Also have FOMC later, so that will be interesting. Yeah. Yeah, that's really going to be interesting. The FOMC thingy. Okay, so we got the H1 inversion. And by the way, when it went up in here, it tagged me out with the spread over here on my funded account. So I'm not in any trade at this moment. I don't have any runners or anything like that because it tagged me out. Are you guys enjoying the music? Is it okay? Is it loud enough or is it too loud? $70 people watching and 74 likes. Thank you. 75 likes. Thank you. Thank you, guys. I'm dreaming at that. Like, to me, even though 100 people it's really not a big deal. Like, there are streamers, like Forex streamers who have so many more viewers, like concurrent viewers on their live streams than me, like thousands, hundreds, thousands. But to me, I think if I could get like 100 viewers, like concurrent viewers, 100 people that would watch me at the same time, I don't know, I would feel amazing. That would be so nice. Really, really nice. Someone says that the volume of the music is too low. Are you sure? Maybe you can increase the volume of your device. Because in here in my OBS, it's pretty loud. I could bring it a little louder, but then maybe you guys are not going to be able to hear me anymore. Mr. Shezi says he has a target of 30.22 with entry at 30.31. Kindly review. Sell entry. Well, what can I say? Review what? Just your entry levels? Yeah, it's really possible that it would go to the low of the London session. But you also have to watch whatever it is that's going on in here. And just don't ignore that. Oh, actually, this is not. It's not anymore. It's not an SMT anymore, because this low is the one that coincides with this low on silver, and both pairs have gone under it. Yeah, we'll see. For now, all that we want to see is the fact that the bearish order flow will keep on being respected. Okay, that's the only thing that matters right now, honestly. That the bearish order flow will keep on being respected. You guys drink water, okay? Which prop firm you're with? I'm with FundedNext. And you guys, by the way, FundedNext is venturing into the futures market, so they will soon be offering challenge accounts for futures. I think that's amazing. I think that is absolutely amazing. Honestly, my experience with FundedNext, even though it's the only prop firm that I ever traded with, and you can't really say that I have a lot of experience, because you don't really have experience when you've only traded with one, but still, I think it's amazing. Like, they're really, really so implicated into making sure that traders actually benefit a lot from using their services. They're really good. Their customer service is really good, really responsive, really helpful. And they have all sorts of like benefits. Like, for example, if you pass your challenge phases and you reach, once you reach a 10%, like it used to be 5%, but right now they are increasing it to 10%. So for example, if you become funded, once you get your funded account and you make a 10% profit on your funded account, then you are going to also receive, on top of your payout, like you can make a payout of whatever amount as long as it's bigger than $40, as far as I think. So you don't have to reach 10% profit in order to be able to make a payout. But if you do manage to make a 10% payout, doesn't matter if it's your first payout, your second, or your fifth payout. If you're going to make a 10% payout, at one point, they will give you 15% from the profit that you made during your challenge phases. And for example, for a $50,000 account, which is what I'm trading, for a $50,000 account, that is almost $1,000 on top of your payout, the payout that you would get. Plus, you're also refunded the challenge fee, which is also awesome. But this is something that, you know, most of the prop firms do. It's not something new, but I really think it's really, really cool, the fact that they're doing this, honestly. What's the spread on gold with FundedNext? It's a bit too big for my liking, but it's fine. Like, for example, right now the spread on gold is 27 points. 27 points, but they have a low commission. Right now it's 26. It's usually between 20 and 30 points, so 2-3 pips. I know it's not small, but their commission is also small compared to other prop firms. Your commission it used to be $3 per standard lot. Right now it's $5 per standard lot. But I still think that it's really awesome. I still think it's okay. Would you trade gold futures or still CFDs? I think I would still trade CFDs. I don't think I would move to gold futures. Don't ask me why. I'm a strong advocate of the following. If something works, don't change it. You know? Yeah, you can improve it, but don't change it altogether. So to me, I know you're thinking, well, it's still gold. Yeah, but CFD contract versus futures contract, the price action, it's going to be pretty different. Plus, the trading conditions can actually be pretty different. And honestly, I never traded futures. Never. And I feel, I'm not sure if it's the case, but I feel like I would start from the beginning. And it would be weird. Yeah. But anyway, that's just me. It doesn't mean that it's correct to think like this. Whatever. I still can't understand the difference between Forex and futures. Can you summarize it? The difference between Forex and futures. Futures, it's Forex, like CFDs, contracts for difference. It's a type of asset that's traded on not centralized exchanges, which are called brokers, okay? That's why you will usually see with Forex, if you want to call it like generally Forex, but it's mainly just CFDs. That's why you're going to see different prices and sometimes slightly different candles, slightly different price action from one broker to the other. Because every broker can have different liquidity providers than the other brokers, and therefore you're trading something which is made up. Okay, it's made up by the broker. I don't have like another more accurate and more simple explanation for this at this point. Besides this, you usually have spreads, you usually have slippage, and you usually have a lot of other costs per trade, which and plus the spread can actually be manipulated by every broker, and you just have no control over that. Okay, but for example, with futures, it's just one single market. It's just one single contract. It's a contract. It's called futures because it has an expiration date. Like for example, traders, institutions, whatever, bet on the fact that at a future date, the price of gold is going to be going higher or lower, right? And the fact that everyone bets on the same type of contract makes futures contracts to be centralized. They're just centralized, okay? You won't have differences from one exchange to another because there isn't such thing as one exchange, the other exchange, one broker, the other. All the futures brokers or the companies that offer the possibility to trade futures contracts, they all take the price feed from one single source, which is CME, as far as I think, Chicago Mercantile Exchange. And right there, everything is centralized. Everyone has access to the exact same price feed. There are no price differences, no spreads, no nothing. I think that I gave an accurate explanation. Is futures trading more trickier than CFD trading? I don't know. Trickier meaning what? Like, the trader is the one who makes trading be tricky or not, in my opinion. All right. It's like it can be a little more cost effective to trade futures because, like I said, you don't have spreads. So that in itself is an advantage. But yeah. Oh yeah. Exactly. Someone was saying you can ask ChatGPT or Gemini or Copilot or DeepSeek. I didn't know if Copilot or DeepSeek. Yeah, exactly. And just like JJ said in the chat, the volume with real is real with futures contracts, whereas with CFDs it might not be real, in the idea that it might actually be inflated by the broker, manipulated or whatever. I think that in about 10 minutes or so, I'm gonna end the stream, I think. We'll see. We'll see how this thing goes. '81 likes. Nice. Nice. So who's here for the first time in my live stream? Raise your hand in the chat if you're for the first time here in my live stream. Come on, nobody's new here in the live stream? I can't believe this. LS. Okay, sir, for the first time here in the live stream, thank you for being here. I hope you like the stream. Okay, who else is here in my live stream for the first time ever? I just want to say a personal thank you. That's it. Nothing else. Miss Lara. Someone's here for the second time. Well, that's good. Thank you. It means that if you came here for the second time, it means you enjoyed it the first time. Let's see what the other time frames have printed so far. Okay, so we have this 30-minute SIBI. Okay. William Brubaker, first time for me. I know your name. Your name sounds familiar to me. Tony is asking, do you expect gold to take out London low? I don't necessarily expect it to take out London low, but I would love to see it take out London low, which is a different thing. But looking at how silver did that, one time here, and then another time here, and then another time here, and it never actually was able to really push lower significantly. I don't know, I'm thinking maybe we won't see gold reaching London low. I don't know, at least not now. But who knows? For now, for continuation towards the sell side, I don't really like the way this 5-minute SIBI is being played. This one, the 10.05. I might actually want to retrace. New here, enjoying it, subscribe. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Francis has been here from the beginning of my live streams. Thank you, Francis. Yes, you're present every day. Thank you, guys. Also, if you're, Lebzy here is right. Maybe you're here for the first time, for the second time, for the third time, or you've been here watching my live streams from the first one. You can like the stream, different ways of supporting my channel. Just like the stream, or even better, just subscribe to my channel. You can subscribe to the channel. Yeah, that would be awesome. Are you trading only the SMT strategy now, or do you still trade the original strategy when you're not streaming? No, lately I've been only trading during my streams. I haven't been trading outside of the streams. And yes, I've only been trading lately the SMT strategy on the 5-minute. It doesn't mean that I don't see setups of my original strategy forming. I just, especially during the live streams, I don't want to confuse everyone by trading one setup or another setup or whatever. So yeah. Old live stream. Alex, if you see a setup before red news, will you still take a trade? Usually not. I think I only did that 2 or 3 times. It went well, but I regretted every second from the moment of entering the trade till the first second after the news. I regret it because it's really weird, because you don't know what the news is going to do, and you don't know if if you're in a trade prior to news. Maybe you're in small profit. Especially, this was something that I really struggled with, my psychology, at the beginning of my trading career. I was entering in a trade. I knew why I was entering in a trade. I was following my system. But I always felt, and I think we discussed about this yesterday during the stream, I always felt that I wanted to move my stop loss to break even too soon, because I was afraid that I was going to lose money if it goes a little against me. And I constantly wanted to take profit earlier than I knew that I should, that I should. I think now, looking back, I think, like, if I trade the 1 minute, my 1 minute model, I would still focus on taking profit after 20 pips, or 1 hour. But with the 5-minute strategy, and this is something that I was talking about a little earlier before coming into the live stream with my boyfriend, and I was telling him I can't take 20 pips of profit on the 5 minutes, because then I would be working heavily against myself. But with the 1 minute, if I would trade a 1 minute setup, I would definitely consider taking profit after 20, 30 pips. Because many times you're going to see that once you get an entry confirmation for a 1 minute setup, price will likely give you 20, 25, maybe 30 pips on gold. But after this, it's going to start to pull back. And if you don't have your psychology on point, and especially if you don't know exactly why you entered the trade, and you just hope that the trade will go in your favor, but you wouldn't know exactly to, make a list of the reasons why you entered the trade and just replicate that same thing on future setups. If that's the case, then I think it's really, really a big issue, because once you were 20, 30 pips in profit on a 1 minute setup, and you decided not to take any of that for whatever reason, and then price is likely going to start to move against you, because it's usually going to start to make a pullback, you are likely going to consider closing your trade faster or even opening a trade in the opposite direction. And you're just adding on onto your losses, you know, if you're doing that. So I really think that if you see a setup prior to red folder news, like just a few minutes before that, or I don't know, half an hour before red folder news, if you see a setup, I think the best thing to do, like a setup based on your trading rules, okay? I think the best thing that you could do is to take that setup, but with a very small lot size. So you're just doing two things. First, you're not risking before the red folder news. That's why you like take one micro lot or something like that, 2 micro lots, something very, very small. Something that even if it goes 100 pips against you, you're not going to be affected in any way, shape, or form. Okay, but at the same time, what you're doing by taking it with a very small lot size is the fact that you are acknowledging the fact that your strategy, your set of rules, gave you an entry confirmation. You're acknowledging to yourself the fact that you're being disciplined about, you know, okay, I see a setup, it's within my trading hours, then I'm going to take it. And you're also showing a lot of discipline for reducing the risk that you put into that trade according to any fundamental events that might happen in the near future. So I think it's it. I'm an advocate of meeting somewhere in the middle, you know? I don't say, yes, take the trade with your full risk, maybe even put double your normal risk, because you know if you see a setup before the news, then the volume during the news is really going to help to push price in your favor. No, because it can actually push price against you. So I wouldn't go to the extreme where you actually use your normal lot size or even a bigger lot size than usual or risk. But I wouldn't go to the other extreme where I would say, well, no, just don't take the trade whatsoever. You know, I mean, unless we're talking about red folder news that will happen on New York, and let's say you made your profit target during the London session and you just don't want to trade for the day. But if that's the case, then there is no reason why you would open your charts during New York, you know? So yeah. Explain for me, please, Lara, what's change for ICT module for 2025? I don't know, I haven't watched it. Would you say ICT is your biggest influence in trading? Definitely, yes. Do you trade same lot size at all times? No, I trade same risk percentage at all times, and my lot size varies depending on the stop loss size. Alex, if you see a setup before... Oh, okay, I've already answered that. Yeah. It's 10:38. I think we could be in the stream until the silver bullet hour passes. I think we could do that. So that's going to be another 20 minutes. What do you guys think? Should we still stay in this live stream or not? Type out letter Y in the chat if you still want us to continue the live stream for at least 20 more minutes. And type a N if you just want me to end the live stream. I have a feeling that many of the people who are watching the live stream are actually watching on mute the live stream. I don't know why. Nick Tawala, thanks, I made $415 today. Thanks. Thank yourself, dear. You didn't make it because of me. You made it because of yourself. So, are your trade ideas based on the higher time frame? Today gold broke structure on the 1 hour. My trade ideas are based on SMT liquidity and fair value gaps, not necessarily on 1 hour, on higher time frame or Not necessarily. Do you trade silver bullet method also, Alex? Not really. I don't anymore. So I'm really happy with the 5-minute SMT model, which is this one that I've been trading during the live streams. Look what silver is doing here. You see? It's creating a busy, and gold inverted this one. And I'm not really sure if it's going to invert this one as well. Why would it want to go a little higher? Why? Because maybe it wants, like it has that 15-minute SIBI. But I really don't see any reason why I would want to rebalance that. That would be too far away towards the upside. And it would risk reclaiming the 1-hour SIBI that it, the 1-hour BISI that it sort of like inverted. But did it actually really invert that 1 hour? Not really, because it didn't close under it on the 1 hour. And the current 1-hour candle doesn't have a top wick. In the 30 minutes. Yeah. It really looks a little weird, you guys. Because it's just consolidating. That's why. That's why. Because usually around this time of the day, it's just consolidating. And I think we can see it best on the 15 minutes. See? It's consolidating. I'm curious what happened here on the lower time frames, like on the 1 minute, for example, on that push to the downside under here. So this is minor buy side. All right, this is minor buy side. So M30 SIBI plus SMT BSL. Someone asking, did you explain what is SMT liquidity in today's stream so that I can rewatch it? No, I haven't. But I can do that now. So what SMT liquidity is basically when you see an SMT divergence, in other words, two pairs that should be normally correlated, they just start to decorrelate. So for example, like we have gold, which usually when gold creates higher highs and higher lows, usually silver does the same thing, right? But when one of these fails to follow the other, so let's say gold does continue to create a higher high, but then silver creates a lower high, okay, like so, then that's an SMT divergence. And usually that happens as a consequence of smart money breaking the synchronization between those normally correlated pairs. And that break in synchronization can only happen through the direct intervention of smart money by taking price low, lower, or higher. Okay, so if you're going to see SMT divergence at lows, it's you could look for to pair it with other ideas that would indicate a possible bullish scenario. And when you see SMT divergences at the highs, you can usually pair that with different scenarios that would indicate price potentially looking to go lower. At the same time, if let's say price is going to create an SMT divergence, and like I'm going to try to look for an example and show you. Okay, like for example here, this was on the 17th, so it was Monday. Okay, on Monday, what we see that price was doing, it created this SMT divergence where we had gold going higher, all right, and silver at the same time it was going lower here. See, so you have this push to the upside where gold continues to create higher highs. Silver should do the same thing, but we can see that it's not. It's creating lower highs. Okay, so that's when you know there's a desync within these two. All right, and we can see that price starts to go down on both pairs. And that's when you know that, okay, so right there, we have smart money entering short orders. Now you got to ask yourself, what's the reason why they would enter short orders? One, is it to reverse this market altogether? Or two, is it just to make everyone think that it's going to go down so that everyone can jump in shorting, in shorts? And then the smart money would actually position themselves bullish again against all those sellers that were convinced, sold on the idea that price was going to go down. Okay, and identifying whether this push to the downside is a break of structure of any sort and that smart money have the intention to reverse the market, or whether it's just a manipulation, that sort of understanding comes by applying different other concepts in your analysis. And what I usually apply is like for example in here, so we had that SMT divergence at the highs indicating a possible push to the downside coming, and you see we had this other SMT divergence here at those lows. All right, so now I know that this is sell side liquidity, and this in here on silver it's also sell side liquidity, right? So if I see gold starting to push down, I'm thinking, well, the only two reasons why price wants to go down, it's either to take sell side liquidity, and where do I have that? Right here at the lows of the SMT, or the other reason is because it wants to rebalance an old imbalance, right? A bullish fair value gap from that push to the upside, you know, and then it just wants to continue to push higher. Case in which it would mean that this push to the downside here on gold, it's a manipulation. Now, if you see one pair, despite heavily dropping, not actually going to an SMT area where it would find liquidity, but the other pair does go to that liquidity area, right? Now you know that the pair that you're using as your indicator, which in this case for me it's silver, I'm using silver to indicate whether the market is oversold. In other words, price on gold goes down in here just to become cheaper so that it can become more attractive for buyers. And that's how I created another SMT, okay, where gold did not sweep London low, but silver did sweep London low. And then we can see that another SMT divergence happened here. So again, it's indicating to us SMT divergence at the lows. It's indicating to us possible push to the upside incoming. And if we correlate that with the idea that we're in a bullish trend and that it previously, at the beginning of the New York session, it previously created SMT buy side liquidity above here, then that actually becomes our target. or possible draw on liquidity. But like I said, you also need to pair that with different other trading concepts. And the way I do it is just using SMT with fair value gaps. All right, good stuff, whatever it is that's going on here. Really, really love it. Look at how this thing went there. Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. All right, so it seems to be reclaiming back this SIBI. I just don't need it anymore. So you guys, I think you're really enjoying this stream, right? Alex, do you use fixed pips for stop loss TP or fixed RR as well? Fixed R. Do you trade London also or just New York? I used to trade London as well, but right now I'm trying to focus more on New York. I don't know, I feel like the price action is a bit clearer to me. And besides this, what I usually do at the beginning of the London session, I go to the gym. And it happened to me a lot of times that I'm at the gym looking for a setup, and then I enter a setup, and then I get stressed because I want to be in front of my phone, right? Because I'm at the gym. I want to be with my eyes staring at my phone to be able to properly manage the trade if there is a need for me to manage the trade. But at the same time, I'm also stressed because I'm in the middle of a set and I can't really focus. So I can't focus on trading. I can't focus on my gym workout. So I'm trying to leave the first part of my day, which includes London session. I'm trying to leave that for the activities that I need to do for myself. Like I need to go to the gym. I need to play with my cats. I need to, do different chores around the house, run errands, or, and then I just calm down and I try to find my balance here so that I become, mentally available to trade the New York session. So that's what I've been trying to do lately. And it's one of the reasons why I started the live streams, because I feel like it brings a little bit of discipline in my schedule, in my program. How did you overcome analysis paralysis? I just did. I decided, okay, from now on, I'm just going to keep only this concept and this concept and this concept in my analysis. It was a decision, you guys. Nike had this put out really well. Just to do it. Okay, just do it. Like, how do you do something? You just decide and you just do it. How do you stop over trading? You just stop opening trades, Like, you most of the times find it hard to understand how to do these things that actually stem from the psychology, because you're thinking of physical ways in which to do it. But it's actually something that comes from your mind. It's the decision to ditch 90% of the trading concepts that you learned about and that you're still having a hard time understanding, or you're having a hard time putting them together into a tradable action plan. And in order for you to figure out if you have a hard time with all of these things, you need to observe yourself. Okay? You need to be self-aware. It's very important. You need to be aware of what you're feeling when you're opening a trade based on different trading concepts. Okay, when I open a trade that seems to be rejecting from a fair value gap, how do I feel most of the times? Do I feel like anxious, or do I feel laid back and I easily accept even a loss if that ought to be the case because I know exactly the reason why I took the trade? You have to ask yourself all these questions, like helpful questions, so that you can actually navigate through whatever it is that you're feeling when you're taking a trade or when you're using some rules, or when you're, like, for example, just ask yourself, what am I feeling right now when I'm watching Alex's live stream? Like, literally, what are you feeling when you're watching my live stream right now? You could be feeling an urge to, you know, like maybe you feel, oh my God, like she just keeps on talking and she doesn't open any trade. Or like you're thinking, oh, I feel so relaxed because I'm just doing what she's doing. Like I'm waiting for price to show me something that it's clear. Whatever that is, you will know when it's clear for you to take a trade. And I'm just enjoying listening to different tips and tricks on psychology and on, you know, overcoming different mind blockers, whatever. Okay? Just ask yourself, every time you do something, ask yourself, how does this make me feel? What do I feel about this? Really, ask yourself in your head. That's the only way in which you can train your mind to become self-aware. Because most of the time we operate on autopilot. And then we ask ourselves, oh my God, why did I take this trade? I have no idea. Oh my God, or you take a dumb trade without actually knowing why, and then you find yourself sitting in front of your charts. Maybe you took a buy and price goes down, right? And you're in a drawdown. And then you start either out loud or in your head, you start saying, oh, please go up. Please, please, please go up. And you start to like beg the market to go back in your favor. If you would be self-aware that you're doing that, that would be the best indication that you need to get out of the trade, no matter what the result of the trade is right now. All right? So you can't know what you're feeling unless you're asking yourself, what am I feeling right now? And that's how you overcome a lot of the mental blockers and mental barriers that usually a trader encounters. Whether it's analysis paralysis, whether it's fear of missing out on a trade, whether it's overconfidence, whether it's, you know, spending too much time in front of the charts, ignoring or completely you know, letting down other parts of your life. Like, I don't know, maybe you have a kid. You're a father, right? And the kid just keeps on begging you, Dad, come on, let's go out and play. And you're here, you know, completely ignoring your kid because you're super hypnotized by the chart. But you're not actually doing anything, you know? And the most important part is that you feel anxious about that. But you don't know you're feeling anxious about that because you're not used to asking yourself what you feel. You're just used to feeling God knows what, and God knows why you would accept to feel anxious, because just the way you decided to feel anxious by doing this thing that makes you anxious, you can also decide, okay, I'll stop doing this thing because I can see it's making me anxious, and I'll just go out, take a breath of fresh air, play with my kid or whatever, and then maybe I'll come back tomorrow. And that's going to be like a small win for the day. That's going to be a small win for the day, a mental win. Because now you're training your brain to become skilled in self-awareness. And that is the best skill that you can actually develop. It's not something that you learn. It's not something that you acquire. It's something that you already have. All of us have the potential of being self-aware. It's just something that you need to train. That's it. You need to develop it. And you can only develop something just like you would develop your muscles at the gym by working out on them. You do the same thing. Like the core function of the muscles is to contract and sustain your body, right? To help you take things, put things, you know, get up, get down, whatever, okay? That's the main function of the muscle, to contract. And then that's basically what you do at the gym. You just repeatedly contract your muscles, which means that you are training your muscle to do more of the things that it's made to do, more of the things that it was built to do, that it's meant to do, okay? Your brain is meant to be self-aware, but you're not using that function. So obviously, it just becomes dormant. If you're not using something, you know, it's just gonna okay, it's gonna sleep. Yeah. I'm talking a lot. Am I not? I really enjoy talking about psychology stuff during these live streams. I think it's the best thing that you could listen to during a live stream, because there's just so much. There's not a lot of stuff that you can analyze on a chart once you've been in front of it for an hour and a half, or 2 hours, you know, because every 3-4 candles, you're just going to have one PD array forming, like one fair value gap, or maybe not even one, right? So you just can't just comment on every candle that's forming, and you can't just go 1 minute, 5 minute, 15 minute, 30 minute, 1 hour. Oh my God, 5 minute back to 15 minute, back to 1 minute. You can't just do that, because that's when analysis paralysis comes. Okay? When you just look at so many pictures, and then you start to see different versions of what might actually happen. And instead of continuing to focus on what it happens right now, you're going to start to shift your focus on what might happen in the future, something that you have no control over. All right? So you just shift your focus towards something that you cannot control and towards something that isn't helpful. So there's just not a lot of technical analysis stuff that I could be talking about during these live streams, especially since I have plus 1 hour of live stream, okay? Because, you know, I entered during the live stream here at 9:05, and it's been 2 hours since, and I've only drew like this fair value gap, this one, this one, this one, and 1 or 2 SMT divergences. Not a lot of stuff that happens, and it's already been 2 hours, all right? So you cannot really talk about a lot of technical analysis stuff, so might as well talk about the more important aspect of trading, which is the psychology tricks. Things that you notice, things that you might be looking into, you know, in order to, like I said, to become more self-aware. Because that's never a skill. I mean, that's always a skill. Becoming more self-aware, it's always a skill. It's never something that you're going to regret developing, self-awareness. If you see no SMT, there will be no trade, correct? Correct. So what is the entry criteria while trading SMT divergences? What are the confluences? SMT plus fair value gap, plus a rejection candle from the fair value gap. So if we're talking about like we had in here, okay? I'm answering this question for Muzamil Ashraf. Apologies in advance if I had your name wrong. So we had this SMT here. Gold went higher, silver went lower. I mean, Gold created a higher high, silver created a lower high, all right? And then I want to see that SMT divergence being confirmed by bearish fair value gap on the pair that I want to trade, which in my case is gold, and I see that. So I have the first criteria, the SMT. The second criteria, SMT is being confirmed by a fair value gap. Third criteria, price goes up into the fair value gap and gives me a bearish candle, which is my entry candle. So third criteria. So this is like a model that is made of three rules. 3-rule model. Yeah. Just curious, what interview on YouTube was your favorite? All of them. Because I was at different stages of my trading career and different stages of life. Like as in how confident I was in myself. And but I enjoyed all of them. I don't have a favorite, honestly. Psychology plays a big role in becoming successful in trading. Thanks a lot. Keep on blessing us. I'm not blessing you guys. You're already blessed. Trust me. I'm just used as a tool to remind you what you already know. Okay? I'm sure that these things that I'm saying right now, these are not new things to you, to any of you. You've heard them before, or you felt them at one point, but you weren't quite aware of them, and you didn't quite look into them properly, you know, because you thought, maybe it's nothing. But you know, every person that we listen to, every person that we see, every person that comes in our life in any way, shape, or form and tells us something that seems to impact us, usually that person is being used as a tool to remind us something that we already know. So if you feel like whatever it is that I'm saying during these live streams, especially from the point of view of, you know, psychology, if you feel, if you think that it's, oh my God, super useful, just pay attention to what you feel, and you will see that these things that I'm talking about, they feel familiar because they are. You already know them. Somehow, you already know them. And you're just being reminded through me that you already know these concepts. That's it. Do you also give importance where SMT divergences occur? Like it should be like on 15-minute, 1 hour, or 4-hour key levels? Yes and no. Yes and no. It's not mandatory. I need to plug my laptop. These reminders you give us about our brains is great. Yeah, it is. I'm glad you're enjoying them. All right, you guys. So we've been in the live stream for 2 hours now, and I don't know. I think I said a few times that I'm going to end the live stream, and I actually think that I'm going to do that right now. So 2 hours, took a trade, ended up in profit. We might see a new setup forming, but we're going to see. And yeah, that's about it. So yeah, talk to you guys tomorrow. Next live stream is going to be tomorrow at the same hour, 9 a.m. New York time. So until then, bye.